Welcome to the Coaches Show. This week we're interviewing head coach Michael Hill and assistant coach Lucas Stern. We were also joined by players Jake Bollinger and Tiernan O'Rourke. But before we get started, I figured we could talk about last weekend's games and maybe look ahead to this weekend's home series. So, last weekend in El Paso, we had a shootout loss on Friday, 2-1. The boys were battling it out, just came to that last second decision in the shootout. Then Saturday night, they built off that momentum and came and won the game 4-3 against the El Paso Rhinos. This weekend, we're playing right here in the Budweiser bullpen, and Friday night's free college night. So any college student with a valid ID can show it at the Amarillo Civic Center box office for a free ticket. And then Saturday night, we're having free bobblehead night. The first 500 fans that go to entrance 5 or entrance 7 will get a free bobblehead of Ruff, our very own mascot. And that's courtesy of Jason Chafe, State Farm. So we have a pretty big weekend ahead of us, but let's recap everything with the coaches and the players. Welcome to the Coaches Show. We're here with Coach Michael Hill, and we're going to ask him a few questions. So, starting with our games last weekend, we had a shootout on Friday, and then we had a win on Saturday. I kind of want you to walk us through that, tell us your process and how motivationally you kind of go from a Friday night loss to then a Saturday night win. How do you keep that moving? And especially when we're on the road and we're not with our fans, like that really makes a big toll. So how do you supplement that with
being on the road is always tough for our boys, right? So but like for them, what's great is the energy that they bring within each other. We got a really good family aspect with this team. There's really good positives to bring out of Friday night. So we only let up one goal, and I think that's one of our best defensive games. So that was a big time builder for us going into Saturday. So on that Friday night, we lose in the shootout, and you know, ultimately the efforts that went through in that night with the guys that dressed, I was really proud of them and everything that they were able to do. So looking forward into Saturday, we went with the same lineup, same way, and for Sternsy and I, we just wanted to minimalize a lot of stuff, just minimize our meetings, just put a lot on the guys, think about the game, think about what you need to do. I think that's what brought us a lot of success on Saturday, and offensively we're able to get a lot done, both on the power play. Penalty kill was really good on the weekend, I think 12 for 12. So first time all year that we went through a weekend with killing every penalty kill, and you know, credit to Sternsy's work and our GM Harry Mahood guiding us on some PK stuff there and doing the right things. But you know, for us, well, I talk about being the family and having, you know, that closeness. What was really, I think, helpful for me personally, my mom was there. She made food for the boys after the game, both games, which was awesome. So they had home cooked meals after the game, and I think the guys had a good feel about, you know, where we are, where we need to be, and where our growth is. And with each step, our last 4 games, we're getting points in all 4 of those games. OT losses in 3 of them, and then coming out with a win in regulation on Saturday. So our guys, it was all about working the right way to get to that point. And it is a process, and our guys really figured it out. Like the buy-in that they've been doing here lately, and the way that they've been working on the ice in practice. Like I've said this before, like it gets me excited for games on the weekend, but nothing more excited for where we were last weekend in practice and building our team and our growth within ourselves. So I think with everything that we had there, I think that's what really helped us in the momentum getting in that victory on Saturday.
Speaking of practice, we're looking at games this weekend at home versus the Oklahoma Warriors. So what from that win on Saturday are we building on this week during practice?
I think still keeping that defensive mindset for us. So for our guys, we know Oklahoma's, you know, really good on the offensive end. Just in their last 5 games or so, I think they've gotten over 18 goals or something like that. So they're very, very good offensively. So for us, our mindset is that we need to shut that down. And so that's been a big focus this week in practice and what we're doing, and making sure that what we're implementing in practice is going to translate into the game and shutting down Oklahoma. So for us, ultimately, they're a really good team offensively. They have a really good offensive core. They create a lot of offense getting up the ice, and so that was a big focus today, is how do we counter that? How do we make sure that our guys are ready to do the right things and shutting that part of their game down, while keeping our principles and our systems in play.
So, building off of that, what do we expect from our Wranglers this weekend, especially while we're at home?
So, I mean, what we preach for our guys is always making sure that we keep to our identity and like who we are as a team. I think as of lately, our guys have been doing a terrific job at being a very big, well-managed team to play against, hard to play against, and that for us is one of our big goals. And I think that's what we could expect out of our guys, is kind of being that heavy brute of a team. Because the last time we played Oklahoma in their barn, everyone knows it was kind of a little bit of a bloodbath. I think both teams have matured since. Both teams have made some moves since then, and so like for us, it's containing that, playing a smart hockey game for us, and making sure that our physicality is in the way that is within the game. So I think that's what the fans could expect, is for us to make sure that we're maintaining our type of style of play, while also building off of what we've been through the last couple of weeks.
Perfect. Last question. Who on the team are you not allowing to DJ?
Well, everyone on the team always requests me to be on the DJ in the locker room. It's almost a standard that I get on the aux cord. Being a part-time DJ and a full-time golfer and full-time coach myself, the boys, they love seeing me on the aux, but I think everyone could agree that they don't want Igor Petrov with his Russian rap on the aux cord.
Right.
And then also, you got one of the guys here right now. He doesn't like Creed. I'm a big Creed fan, but Jake Belanger is around. You'll be talking to him later. I think Creed gets the guys going at times in the right setting. But yeah, Belanger would tell you he's not a fan. Big fan of Creed, the message behind their music and everything like that. But ultimately, I would go with Igor Petrov and that Russian rap music that he plays. I don't think the guys want to hear that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach Hill.
Thank you, Loco.
We're joined with assistant coach Lucas Stern. We're going to ask him a few questions as well. So, from your perspective, from Friday night's shootout loss to Saturday night's win, 4-3, what do you notice as being the biggest shift in the way the guys were playing?
I mean, the guys played really well on the game that we had the shootout loss, and we're really happy to come out with 1 point from that. And the biggest thing that changed from the first game to the second game was, we just put the puck in the net a little bit more. We tightened up a little bit more in the defensive zone. Our penalty kill was stellar in both games, going 12 for 12, as Coach Hill said. And really the biggest change wasn't necessarily, the way that we wanted to play against them, because we had a strategy going into it, but it was just the details in our execution. We were a lot crisper, when it got down to the last 10 minutes of the game, and we're making adjustments, the guys just immediately bought into them and just didn't do things their own way. They did it the Wrangler way, and when the results kind of speak for themselves, where you go from a shootout loss where the guys play hard, but we don't capitalize on adjustments, to everyone does it the Wrangler way and we come up with 2 points and the puck finds the net a little bit more often than it did the first game. So we love to see it.
What kind of challenges does Oklahoma present, and what will be key for the guys when they're playing against them this weekend?
We know that Oklahoma's a huge transition team. So for us, it's going to be really important that we're, defending the right way, whether it's in the defensive zone, we're coming back on transition to catch guys, or really just keeping the success that our penalty kill has had. They have a really good power play, and we have to give them a lot of respect on it. So really the big thing that we have to do to be successful is, continue the momentum that we brought from El Paso onto Oklahoma, and, just have a buy-in from everybody throughout the lineup, whether they're in the lineup, out of the lineup. We've said it all year long that guys, whether they're dressed or not dressed, you can have an impact on the game. And, that's something that we've really bought into, not just all season long, but we've retouched on it in the last few weeks. And I think it's 7 games with a point now or something like that. So it's something where it's just reminding the core values that we have as Wranglers, and doing that, we're going to be just fine against Oklahoma because we've done our research and we know what we need to do.
Awesome. Walk us through what your game days look like. So from the alarm clock going off in the morning to the final buzzer, what does that look like for you?
It depends on whether it's a Friday or Saturday. Fridays, wake up, get ready, come to the rink, and try to get here, just watch film a little bit more. We'll get on the ice for pregame skate, make sure the guys are laughing, having good attitudes, getting good touches in. Get any final preparations done that Hillsy wants me doing for preparations for the other team, and from there go home, change, come right back, and try to avoid looking too bad for you setting up pictures in the hallway. But then it's just wait till puck drop and go on the bench for warm-ups, and talk to the guys, maybe spray water on some of their laces, you never know. And then Saturday is a little different. Sometimes we'll do some power skating for over at the ice ranch, and that's a lot of fun for me, even though it's an early turnaround, being at 7 a.m. But it's enjoyable, and it's nice for me to get to give back to the game a little bit. So from there, after teaching some power skating, I'll just come right over to the Civic Center, and it's do the same thing all over again. So usually on game days when we're at home, I'm pretty routine where I'll go to Chipotle and get some good food before the game, so that way I'm fueled up.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We look forward to this weekend.
Thanks a lot.
We're here with Jake Belanger, and we're going to ask him some questions. This past weekend in El Paso, you assisted in opening up the scoring in Saturday night's game. I want you to talk us through that process and how, as a teammate, you look onto your other teammates and capitalize on a situation like this.
Yeah, so throughout the play, you kind of just try to see what's open, look for options and all that. You can't always find the best one, but for the goal that you're talking about, really just looking to get it towards the net, and luckily Jacob Miller was right there to tip it in. So it's good when you have teammates that go to the net and work with you really well. Makes it easier on you. Also, Big Mike keeping it in at the point helps a lot. Could have been offsides, but keeps it in, keeps the play going. So throughout the play, you're really just looking to make good decisions, not necessarily just on the offensive end, on the defensive end. So I think it helps playing with two really good guys, in Gentler and Miller. We work well together, so it's easy to find them in the play and usually make something good come from it.
On behalf of the Wranglers organization, we're so proud of you. You committed here recently to Tufts University. So I want you to talk to us about that, and then I want you to kind of help us understand, when you've got multiple colleges asking what made Tufts stand out to you and what made you really commit and say, this is going to be my school.
Yeah, so throughout the whole process, I had a lot of great conversations with a lot of schools, a lot of good coaches. But being from the Northeast, about 2 hours outside of Boston, and also going to a Northeast boarding school, they're very well connected with the NESCAC conference, which Tufts is in. And I've talked to Tufts for the last 2 years, still came back and played juniors again this year, but I really just love what Coach Roberto and Coach Norton had to offer. They're two great coaches. They're building a really good program at Tufts. And then the hockey aside, it's a great academic institution. So looking towards the future, go into a great school, hopefully get a great degree out of it, and then also the connections you get from the schools are even better. Know some great people, and hopefully it opens up opportunities in the future for me.
As you prepare to move on to this higher level of hockey, how are you implementing those needed skills that college hockey has to offer in the game within the second half of the season?
Yeah, so I think it's a transition from juniors to college, just as high school is to juniors. Guys are older, faster, stronger. They know how to play the game. So I think just going in and really learning from the guys that are already there, the sophomores, the juniors, the seniors, and really just listening to feedback from coaches is going to be an important part, adjusting to the college level. But I think in these last 20 or so games that we have left, really just working on, getting my speed as fast as I can, working on my shot, being physical. Like I said, guys are bigger and stronger in college, so just being a hard physical player and being hard to play against will be key going into college.
Perfect. You mentioned that you're not too far from Boston, but now going to Tufts, you're going to be in the heart of Boston. So what's one Boston staple, food, event, sporting situation that you're really looking forward to that's going to be implemental to the next few years while you're in Boston?
Yeah, being from so close, I'm a big fan of Boston sports. So going to things like the Red Sox games at Fenway are always fun. Grew up going to a couple of those, and then going to Bruins games, other college hockey games as well. There's Boston College, Boston University, Harvard. Might not have all the time for that. I have my own games and my own schedule, but trying to make time to head into the city, go to some great restaurants, Seaport, things like that. Really look forward to that.
Perfect. Any questions that you want me to ask you that would be that I missed?
No.
Anything fun and funky? Okay.
Perfect.
Wait, I'm going to do an outro.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Jake, and we look forward to watching you play this weekend.
Thank you, Lauren.
We're here with Tyron VTO O'Rourke, and we're going to ask him a few questions. So, Tyron, you've also recently committed to Connecticut College.
Yeah.
What does this commitment mean to you, and what excites you about this next chapter?
I'm just really excited to go to a place that's got great academic offerings, great hockey team, and be so close to home. Connecticut College is only an hour and a half from where I live back home in Darien, and growing up I've always wanted to play college hockey, and it was a really big dream of mine, and I'm excited to pursue that fully. So I'm pumped. I think the coaching staff there is pumped for me too. My family's pumped, all my family, my friends. So I'm just really excited to get it started.
You mentioned you're a Connecticut native, so now going to Connecticut College, is this a full circle moment for you? Is this bringing it back to your roots? What does that look like for you?
Totally. I think Con offers a great opportunity to be close to my family, which is something that I don't really think I've had throughout most of my youth hockey career. I went to boarding school for 3 years in New Jersey, and then I went to a different boarding school in Rochester, New York. So my parents are used to either watching my games online or having to travel a few hours. Being so close to home is just really exciting for them. They can drive up the day of a game and then drive back home. My little brothers can come. I can visit home on an off weekend or something like that. So it's really just, it means a lot. And I grew up watching Connecticut college hockey. Con College has always been there, and it's always been a great option for me. And it's kind of always been a dream just to be so close to home. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'd definitely say it was a full circle moment.
Besides your family and coaches, who was the next person you told about your commitment, and why have they been so influential in your hockey career?
So I think, I'm not sure, but I think it was one of my good friends, DJ Perusi, who currently plays in the North Iowa Bulls in the Central Division of this league. And for me and him, we've just been buddies since I went to boarding school a few years ago. And he's one of the guys that I've always been going through this kind of hockey process with, and the college process with specifically. He's my age, so we've been talking about recruiting and stuff like that. It's a really big part of all of the age outs' experience this year, especially with figuring out where they're going to go for the next 4 years. So for me, I've always just talked with him about it, and he's one of my best friends. I love him to death. So when I decided that I was going to commit, I told him first, and he's fired up for me. And I hope that soon, when he makes his decision on where he's going to go to college, he'll tell me first too. So yeah.
So we hear all this chatter about the Minecraft base.
Yeah.
Give us a little insight to that.
So I could go on for this for hours, I think. But essentially, the short version of the story is we started a Minecraft server, and I'd say 5 or 6 of the guys played pretty consistently for a while. And originally we drafted teams. I drafted a team of guys who, let's just say, disappointed me. I'm not going to name names, but one guy's initials are TT, and the other guys are DD. So we started this Minecraft server, and Caden Hegarty and Jake Thornton both run a team, and pretty much they came to my house and they destroyed all my stuff, and they stole everything, and killed me, and did a ton of things that were not so nice. And so I figured that I had to get my revenge on them. So I went and attacked Caden Hegarty and Jake Thornton and Mason Lupo, who's also on their team too. And so now there's kind of been a little bit of a divide, and there's kind of been an ongoing war. And then Daniel Rasega, who's kind of in charge of the server, has just stayed to the side, and he's been pretty neutral about it. But yeah, it's been kind of deadly and dangerous. And I got my cousins involved in the server because I was alone, so I needed some help. But it's been fun all around, and I don't think Caden Hegarty will ever kill me ever again, but I'm sure he thinks he's got a shot, but he doesn't. So yeah, that's that.
Well, you heard it here. Thank you, Tio.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
That'll be all for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. We hope to see you in the bullpen this weekend, and we'll catch you next week for the Coaches Show.